Alright, so in this video I'm going to be replacing a fuel pump on a 2000 Grand Prix GTP, supercharged version. I thought I'd make a video on how to do this for the people out there that have Grand Prix. Still runs and everything, but the car is nearing about 200,000 miles, and I mean the engine doesn't even have a tick or anything on it. It's always been a good engine, but when it comes to wide open throttle, this thing just kind of hesitates, and I pretty much replaced everything on the car. All I need now is just the fuel pump, and the fuel pump is real whiny sometimes, and sometimes it's quiet. So I've ordered one through the internet, and it's not no specific brand, but it's supposed to be the right one for this car, I'm hoping. This car has a 2-speed fuel pump, but from what I can see from this one that I bought, it's a whole complete unit. Most of the time you can get away by just snapping these plastic covers off and replacing the fuel pump inside. But the thing is, it's best just to replace everything because these have a seal on them. Sometimes you can't get your hand on these seals, and usually when you take off a pump like on this one, it's already a 12-year-old pump. The seal ain't gonna be able to, I won't be able to reuse this seal, so it's always best to get the whole assembly. Since this is the GTP version, I don't even know if this thing's even gonna fit. I'm hoping it will fit. Well, hopefully this will fit. I will have to reuse the pressure, the fuel tank pressure sensor from this one, from this car on this one. And since I don't see any O-rings, I don't even think this even came with any. Hopefully the O-ring, or the, it might not even take an O-ring, it might just take just a rubber piece that might be on the sensor that holds this, so I don't know, but it came with extra harness, and I don't think I have to replace this. Well, other than that, that's all it came with, and I'm gonna get to actually taking off the fuel pump on this. So I'm going to start off by saying, when replacing the fuel pump, you got to empty out your trunk, which I've done here. I've emptied out the trunk pretty much. You don't have to take out the spare tire, and then you got to pull back on the rug or carpet that these cars come with. So just pull this thing back. There might be some places where there's some tabs. I got my tools here, and it's pretty much gonna have to be done from the inside of the car. I could do it from, from the back seat. I could do it from here. I'm just gonna have to jump in here, and which is no problem. But if I have to actually get out for a screwdriver or something, it's gonna make it a little bit of a problem. So I think we'll be doing some video shots from the other side. The fuel pump looks similar except for the connectors. This one actually has a square connector on it. So what's going to be needed for this new fuel pump, which kind of sucks, is cutting the harness and pretty much crimping the lines. But at least they included instructions to do so. So I'm going to get to removing this pump now. Alright, so I ran some water over the fuel pump and actually cleaned a lot of the dust off. It's alright to run some water over it. It ain't gonna leak in there. Just make sure that you dry everything up around the seal, because you don't want water getting into your tank. And what I'm gonna be doing now is I'm going to be pinching. I've actually already pre-pinched this, but yeah, I'm gonna pinch these plastic connectors You can kind of hear them snapping there, and pretty much pull these out. But the best thing to do though before actually doing this, which I've already gone and done, is empty the pressure out of the line. Remove the fuel pump, the fuel filter, and kind of let that drain out. Anyways, you gotta replace the filter when actually doing this. Anyways, so just removing the pressure from the fuel rail and draining out or removing one side of the fuel filter altogether will actually help you out. And because if you do this with pressure, this line is just gonna pretty much come out and you're gonna have gas all over and it's gonna get into the wires. Another tip is when you take off your wires, these things, they're pretty light. They fit. There's a gap in here, and if you let them drop in there, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to actually get them out. So what you can do is one of these existing studs, you can hold the harness. You can get one of your nuts, and actually, you don't want to tighten it down, but just to hold the wires from actually getting tucked in there and having to fish them out. But also the ring is not like the typical GM, the older style rings I thought it was going to be, but you need some snap pliers to remove the ring that's holding the whole assembly. But since I don't have any here with me, I'm going to be using some screwdrivers to remove this. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I removed the lines. All I did was just pinch these plastic tabs. From what I can tell, I'm going to have to reuse my plastic ones. I couldn't find nothing in the box. But these are easily removable and these are still in good condition. This one in the middle for the vent is actually, it doesn't have one, or it's built onto the line itself. But I removed the snap ring there. It can be done with a screwdriver. It's not very hard to do at all. There's not too much force involved to removing one of these. So I'm just gonna wiggle it a little bit, and there it comes. So there it is. There's a blue gasket on this one. I don't know if this might even be an actual aftermarket tank fuel pump. Huh. It looks in good condition, other than the seal being dirty, but I think old GM are black gaskets. And this one has a blue one, so the seal's not too bad on it either, so might actually be a good pump. But who knows? I'm gonna try reusing the top of this though, because I really don't want to cut into my harness here, because if I do, I don't know, I just don't want to cut into the harness, just because if I crimp the wires later on down the line with time, it might get loose and the wires might slip out. I won't be able to run any heat shrinking on here, because you don't want to run, you don't want to put any source that could ignite the fuel in the tank. Even having this camera near the gas tank is a little bit dangerous, so. But I'm going to remove this, and I'll turn the camera back on when it's out. Alright, so I removed the fuel pump assembly, and I looked in the tank and it was really dirty. Also, the strainer was really dirty on this unit. As you can see, all the dirt in there, still filled with gasoline. But one could always just replace the fuel pump on one of these things. All you gotta do is just take off these connectors, and they're snapping connectors. here that you can just remove the inner part of the assembly and just pretty much replace the pump on it. But see, this thing is just leaking gas everywhere. But another tip that I forgot to leave out is, if you're gonna actually replace the fuel pump and you're one of those mechanics or one of those people that smoke and attempt to do this while they're smoking, it's not a very good idea. Something's gonna happen. But I'm just pointing that out. I'm not a smoker, but just for those people that like to work and smoke at the same time. Now, when it comes to getting your fuel pressure sensor, or the tank sensor, or the tank pressure sensor, all you gotta do is just run a screwdriver underneath. But there's also a rubber grommet in there, so it acts as a seal, so you don't want to damage that. So just right underneath it, and you kind of want to just loosen it up. Just pull upwards evenly until it just slides out. Just take your time, and that's it. There's the grommet on there, and it should fit on the new unit. Alright, so since I'm a person who likes to think outside the box, I figured, well, I wonder if this thing would actually come off. And it actually does. You gotta just remove your connector for your fuel pump and your fuel sender, and there's a tab right underneath here, and just press on that tab and the connector actually comes out. Then you can get your existing one, and everything lines up, because these aftermarkets are a replica anyways. They're duplicates on the original design. So there it is. I got my original connector back on there. Well, I gotta still put the seal in there, but I didn't have to actually cut into my harness. All I gotta do is just replace that. So that's another good thing about this fuel pump assembly, and it's a good tip for you guys out there that don't want to cut into your harness just to put a new fuel pump. You can just actually remove your old connector and install it on the new assembly. Alright, so I finally installed my tank pressure sensor, my old harness connector. There's no need for cutting. I installed the little plastic grommets. They're actually in good condition. It's a bummer that the new unit didn't come with them already pre-installed, but that's fine. And all I'm got to do now is just pretty much replace everything. As for the rest of the procedure, it's assemble as you disassembled, and that's it. It's kind of getting dark here, so I'll try to get this on camera if I can. Also, that I forgot to mention is you want to clean around the lip, because there's always going to be dirt there. If you don't clean on there, it's not going to make a proper seal, and an explosion could actually happen. So don't forget to actually clean around the lip. So anyway, it took me a little while screwing around with this thing, but I finally got it on. It's actually getting dark, so I couldn't get it all that well. But after replacing it, before actually putting the cover and all that back together, you want to make sure that there's no leaks whatsoever on your fuel pump, on your connections, or anything around this seal. It took a little while actually pushing that thing down and getting it to lock up, but overall though, on a nice day, this is only maybe about half an hour to an hour job. It doesn't take that much, but car sounds good, and all I got to do now is just pretty much close up this access port, put everything all back together, and take her for a test drive. But anyways, I want to thank you guys as always for watching my videos, and until next time, thanks for watching.